When they tell you that your government likes you, they're working for you, you wouldn't outsource to another country. You understand? If you outsource jobs and production for other countries, it means all they're concerned with is the bottom line, profit. And that's very disadvantageous to people. The profit system actually does design things to wear out and break down, because that's the way you keep in business. Every year you got to buy new airplanes because the old become obsolete. So war has always been good business. A friend of mine, when you're drafted into the army or you join the army to protect your country, you put your life up for the country. So they should conscript all the war industries so no one makes a buck out of war. Then it's real. On the same basis of pay of soldiers. But if you make millions selling aircraft to the army, he sells machine guns, she sells submarines, it's not honest. Now, I knew a guy named Alexander P.D. Seversky, who owns Seversky Aircraft Company. He said during World War II that that the government should buy long-range bombers to knock out the power projects in Germany. If you knock out the dams and the power projects, but if you shoot soldiers out in the field, they can keep producing munitions and bombers and airplanes. Do you understand? Even war is corrupt. It's corrupt as an operation. A friend of mine flew airplanes in World War I, and he said he flew over Krupp munition works 8 times with orders not to bomb it. He didn't understand that. He was a pilot to defend the United States. But after the war, a magazine called Fortune magazine ran an article called Arms and the Men. Probably never heard of it. And in that magazine, they said that DuPont has holdings in I.J. Farben. That's why I wasn't bombing it. So war is really not to bring democracy to other countries. It's about resources and exploitation and removal of the resources. National loyalty is really a form of stupidity. All people need clean air, clean water, arable land, and a relevant education. That means no businessmen, no advertising, no investment bankers. Relevant education means how to restore the environment and the damaged reefs. Not to, I don't know if I told some of you this, but the United States Army about 45 years ago dumped 65 tons of nerve gas off the coast of Miami, near the Gulf Stream. How can you love the country and do things like that? How can you care about people and bomb their cities? We'll fire and press a button and wipe out cities. The reason people do that, they get a medal. They get an X on the fuselage of how many planes you shot down. I used to work for Ernst Udet. He became the head, one of the top brass under the Nazis. Well, I worked for him at Roosevelt Field. And I said, how did you shoot down 70 airplanes? And he said to me, I would fly above aerial combat and watch the rookies that couldn't handle planes well and knock them off. Now, what kind of a person is that? He's a war hero, great man. Eddie Rickenbacker, the same. They're bums and stupid people brought up by an arrogant society that doesn't give a shit about anyone else but the established institutions. So I'm trying to tell you something. We must join together with all nations, take care of the earth together and one another. When you think of the cost of World War II, I'm not just talking about the military cost. I'm talking about taking care of veterans after the war for years. And then all the cities bombed out, the museums and art. You remember England and Germany flattened out. Take that cost, you know what that could have done? It could have housed everyone on earth in brand new housing. Build art centers, music centers, cultural centers, housing, parks. Soldiers should be trained as problem solvers, not killers. When you train people to be killers, obviously soldiers don't know what the hell they're doing, because they think they're defending their country. They're building hatred for the next 20 years. When you bomb the Arab world and flatten it out, you're not doing any good.